Hello, welcome to another episode from Bar Security. In this episode I'm going to be passing up these two Euro key and turn cylinders. These are ERA cylinders to the same key for a client. So let's get it done, shall we? This is the key I'm going to use. As you can see, it's a nice cut key, so there's no really deep cuts that's going to cause the key to snap anywhere. This would also have been a nice key, but because it had these deeper cuts here, I decided to go with the other one because it's got more brass on it, so it just makes it stronger. Right, let's get this clip off. These are sprung clips on the ERA. We're only going to strip it down one side. I'm going to use a multi-lock clip to hold this in place because the springs are actually quite tough in there. So there's no chance now of those pins coming out. It's a good solid clip, that. That's what I like about it. Right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if any of the pins that are existing are reusable. Doesn't look like any of those are going to fit. So we do have a very small one at the front, which is a number 1 or a 2. So it's not a 1, so it's going to be a number 2. So we're going to have to go to our very untrustworthy pinning kit box, which is all mixed up, as we don't do a lot of these. Looks like that size. Let's try that one, shall we? As you can see, my barrel's fallen, but because I've got a really good clip in there, it hasn't fallen to pieces. Like me this morning, but then again, it is Friday. Right, so that's a good one, so that's cool. Right, now we'll see if any of these others will fit. So we've got another brass one here. That fits in that chamber nicely. So we're not wasting anything. We always try to recycle as much as we can with the pins. Oops, not working there. Work in there. Should we see if it works? Right, so we got 2 from the looks of it that actually sit there. Maybe that one there might be a 1. No, it's not. Okay, so we had 2 that's fitted okay in there, so we'll recycle the rest. Just chuck them in our box. Oh, look at that. First time. See that one now. That's nice. One more about that size. Now we just got our last one on the end. The main thing when it comes to locksmithing is not to be afraid to try anything new. It's how you learn. And everything's changing all the time. So it makes it very interesting. I think I'm going to go with that one. Let's try that one. especially when it comes to the outside work as well. The outside work, you're always going to come across something you've not seen before. That's perfect. It's the nature of the job we do. The idea is to embrace it. When you embrace it, it no longer becomes an issue. So, key. If you notice on here, you've got a little groove just here. That's where the key has to sit. So as long as you line it up okay with that groove, everything should, in theory, be fine. Oh, that's strange. Oh, that's new. Both of these are from the same factory. I assume they're from the same factory, but they're not. It's not allowing that to go in for some reason. Seem to have cut myself as well. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong there with that. I think it's the first chamber on there. So it looks like I'm going to have to strip this whole thing down. Just when you thought it was going right, right? Okay, not a problem. So what I'll do is just pull that back one. And that will allow me to take this clip off the thumb turn side. So our thumb turn is going to come out. So yeah, it's definitely not right there, is it? With cheap cylinders, it never always tends to go the way you would like it to. Usually gives you a bit of a problem. I'm going to have to strip this down completely. Okay, let's do that. All our bits and bobs out. I have a feeling it's the pin in the front that's caused the problem. There we go. Come on, you little bugger. There we go. Right, there we are. Right, so we've got that issue. Okay. Now the whole idea of pulling it out over over the mat, it's so that we don't lose any of the bits and bobs that come out. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push that in There's one pin left in there, which is the lockout pin, which is fine. Right, there we go. And we've got our ball bearing. Pop back in there. And our springs come out of there as well. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One in there is 6. Right, so main spring, where's that gone? A spring there, part spring. That's not the end of the world. I have spares, so I'm going to put a spare one in there. Now there is a an Allen key you can undo if you want to for this, but sometimes you don't need to, just like that. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to reload. Just going to pull our, this goes in the middle. Pull that out so that we can do the others. Right, so first things first, don't drop the spring. That spring's got going. So pop our springs in, line it up with the chamber inside the cylinder. Right, so we're going to use a solid on the back, then we'll use a solid on the front, just to prevent the cylinder from jamming. The rest of these, they're like a mushroom shaped pin, which is your anti-pick devices. Then we're going to put our locking pin, locks into our third chamber. There we go. Put that in there. There it goes. Right, so that's locked in. And then we'll put another mushroom over our locking pin. It serves two purposes. It's to prevent bumping first off, where you use a bump pin to or a bump key as they call it. To knock all the pins up, bouncing the pins in the chambers. But having that sprung pin, in theory, is to prevent bumping off the barrel. Spring. Now one of these springs is damaged, so it's possible that's the reason why this cylinder jammed. So that's now reloaded. Let's have a look. Now we want take our key in the keyway, okay, and we'll find another pin to go in there. We'll try this one. Okay, so that fits in there nicely. So before I go through all the rigmarole of putting all this back together again like Humpty Dumpty, let's key operates, comes out, goes in, comes out. Okay, so what it was, the reason it jammed is because we got a pin which is not quite an ERA pin that somehow got into my kit. Okay, that's cool. Now the next thing we need to do is, there's two ways I can work this now. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pin, one of the other thinner clips. I'm going to pop that in there because I don't want that spring to pop out again, not after I've gone through the, putting it back in. Right, so there we go, so pop that out. Will that hold? It's precarious, but actually fuck it, it's going to have to come out. Now I'm going to have to get the Allen key out. Okay, not thinking straight am I this morning. Let's pull that out. Our spring's still in there, but it doesn't matter. Right, so now we've got to pop our cam in, which is this bit. Got in there, so that's fine. That's our spring come out, not worried about that. Right, so now we've got to pop this in, which goes in that way. And remember, we've got to have our groove here. It's going to be facing our key, so it's got to go in that way. Okay, so can be a little awkward. There it goes, popped in. That's in position. We'll close our cylinder up, that position there. Just making sure that we've got our little groove there for our Allen key to go in. Right, so I'm just going to seal the part for the thumb turn. Okay, so our thumb turn is now in there and it's secure. So before we put the other clip on, that now goes in nicely. Excellent, that's working perfectly now, which is how you want it to be. So we can put the clip on this one too. Because they're nice sprung clips, they just spring back into place. See, not going to come out of there, solid. Right, so what I need to do now is I need to get my Allen key out. I'm going to undo that Allen bolt on the top. I've got to find the right size, which I've got here somewhere. Or I do have an Allen key that size somewhere for it. Probably in here actually. Right, so that now takes out the Allen key bolt on the top. So we have to think in reverse. So we're going to put our ball bearing in first, then our spring, And then our bolt. That's not a normal plug spring that goes in there, it's actually a more solid spring, a little bit stronger. Let me just tighten that down, hand tight. Now we've got our ball bearing in, check our key. Our key now operates nicely and works. I said these things don't happen often, but when they do happen, don't panic. There's always a way around it. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It was a little longer than I expected, but this is locksmithing for you. Sometimes things happen and you just have to deal with it. And I'll see you on the next video.